Hi, welcome to Tutors Funny channel. Today I'm going to teach the search part of the Spring Boot master tutorial. So here first what I'm going to do is I just this line I just copy and paste this one. Here I will be explaining it. So here I'm going to use the if you search the record you have to use the get mapping. It's a get mapping you use. So you have to use a param. If you are used like this is a professional way to you write the codes. Okay, path get by ID params you have to set the ID. Okay, this by the param that same ID you have to get it here, right? So if you have a database table, the same ID you have written, we don't need this param. You just enter like this. Okay, but if you write like this requires param value equal if you write like this is a professional way to add the annotation and we have to put the values here. It's a professional way to do the program, right? So it create a public employee DTO. You have to get the DTO and get all employee ID. Get all employee ID request. This is the employee DTO, right? So when the request is coming from the front end, it's first it goes to the controller. Controller it's via the DTO, via the get the records, right? So here what I did here is DTO get the employee ID, get all employee ID, requested, you have to type like this, get the employee ID, requested ID, what's the ID you are getting. Again you have to get the employee ID, employee DTO employee ID here equal. We are passing the service dot here we have write get employee ID. So here we didn't create this get employee ID in our service. So we have to create this one. Create this method here. Create this method service. You click on this one. The method has been created. Say employee DTO get employee ID here. Simply you have to write like this. You have to write like this. After that, here this stuff here the flow working. So here first you have to go to the employee uh, service. After the here one related problem you click on this one. It goes here. It asks implement the methods. If you click implement, click copy. You can see it's implemented. This how it's working, right? Employee is working. Right now here we have to write this code. Simply you have to write this code. I'll be explaining. Don't worry about that. Right now here you can see here first the ID we get the ID optional employee optional means if you are search the ID we have to put the keyword optional employee repo. In the repo we have a method called find by ID. Okay, in repo we have a method called find by ID. Okay, in repo uh, we have a equal find by ID. Okay, right? So here right find by ID side what's the ID you are getting here in the controller. It's getting that you are typing the ID, it passing to here. So get the ID and passing the service what does is coming here, get the ID and passing to the employee service IAMPL, get the ID. If the employee dot present, this is the predefined method available in Spring Boot, is present. If the ID is present mean if you have put the optional keyword, then only you can implement this is present keyword. Okay, so if present means if the ID is available, then we have to create the employee DTO object and we have to retrieve the records from the database, right? Retrieving the records from the data, employee get ID, employee name, address, salary, number, all the same we are retrieving the database from the database, right? You have to get the all the things retrieving from the database. After that what I did is we have to return the values over here, right? We have to return the values. So we have to return it. This detail you have to return. Right? That's the thing. Simple. You have to return it. Let me check whether it's working fine or not. Let's stop and run the program again. Right, no errors. Now let's go here. In my last video, I explained how to use the Swagger. Okay, if you are not watched my last video, you just go and watch it. Go to the Swagger UI, employee controller, click this one. Here, try out, click one, execute. If the ID is available here, it's all the information will be displayed here. It's one, what is the ID we are typing? It based on the record will be displayed. If you are type 2, the record 2 is not available. Okay, so here third 3 here all the record will be displayed over here. The structure. Okay, the record is displayed according what is the ID you are typing. The ID match with the record will be displayed. Right. So let's simple. Right. Instead of do that, we'll do another things. That is a model mapper. Okay, model mapper tool. Right. We will be explain this tool. I will be explain it in my next tutorial. If I explain it, you are confusing. First, you have to learn these things. How the search part work. Okay, so how the search part work? First, go to the employee controller. You have to create this get mapping. This is a get map. We are get the values only. We are not going to post any values. So we have to use a mapping called get mapping. So if you update the record, we have put mapping. If you have saved the record, you are using the post mapping. We have used 3 different mapping over here. So get mapping is get the values, right? So we employee DTO because when you get the when we get the ID from the front end, we are passing the DTO. So get DTO, get all employees, request get the ID, but ID you are getting, put it here, passing here. It's this ID will be passing the service. Service it catch the ID and passing to where the IMPL there will be the method. It will be implement this DTO method. It will be created. I will be show you how to create it. You have to implement the optional keyword. Then only we have to check it whether the when you get the ID whether the based on the customer is present. Mean if the customer is still present or not. If the customer is present, it will be display all the records of the particular customers. If the customer is not present, the value come as null. Right? The value come as null. It will display as value come as null. Right? So here otherwise okay now you can see here customer ID not found, employee ID not found. As you can write null, like something like that, right? Okay, that's it. Okay, that's how we have to write the works, right? So this is how we have to do the coding, right? If you have any doubt on this, you can ask me anytime. If you love my channel, please subscribe me, like me. Thank you for watching.